Let's get ready for this final race. It's race 3. It's winner take all. John Bowe and Andrew Medicki start on the front row. Jim Richards, Keith Kasuki on the next row. There was a race earlier in the day, reverse grid. Brett Youlden in the HQ won that race, which actually finished under safety car, unfortunately, due to an incident later on. But it's winner take all here between Bowe and Medicki in the last one.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. They were on it this morning. It was such a good race to watch. You know, a little bit of wet, a little bit of dry. These things were all over the place, sideways. There was a bit of action. There was big spins at turn 1, so we're hoping that we get a good clean start here for race 3.
Remember, Touring Car Masters this season have gone a bit American. Rolling starts, double file. So John Bowe will control the pace in that number 18, 69 Mustang. Andrew Medicki alongside in the Camaro. Jimmy Richards with the throttle cable drama yesterday. He did limp it to the line. He's right there ready to go in the Falcon Sprint. Away we go, 10 laps, Touring Car Masters, off and running. Keith Kasuki in that XP GT Falcon. It's got lots of power, but he's got 2 cars parked in front of him. He can't use it just yet. Richards is through. Oh, Brett Youlden and Mark King got together through turn 1. Look at Medicki. He's going to attack the long way at turn 2, and he'll take the lead.
He does it easy on cold tyres. John Bowe being a little bit cautious there into turn 2. Medicki snapping that up.
This is on board with Greg Crick. Great to have Cricky back in the Charger. It's his first run in TCM. He was ill for quite some time this year, but he's up and hustling.
Bit of an inside brake lock up there. See Cricky on the outside in that 75 Charger.
You can see the damage on Mark King's car in the right door from where that contact was with Brett Youlden, who I think might have the left rear of the green Monaro, just rubbing on the bodywork. It might have cleared away now as we sort ourselves out. First lap of 10, final race of the weekend. On board with Cam Mason in the 66 Mustang Fastback. That's Kerry McMahon up in front in the green Tirana.
Oh, I love watching these in-car cameras with these guys, you know, like the amount of wheel movement they use. Like, you could see Mason there through Corporate Hill using over half a turn of lock.
Oh, Mason nearly went around. He managed to hang on to it. Oh, that tyre's still rubbing.
Yep.
Left rear of Brett Youlden's Monaro. He needs to be really careful that Hoosier, if they can run away at the guard and clear within about a lap, he should be okay. But it only seems to be in certain areas of loading, so he should be okay. I mean, right-hand corner seemed to be the drama. Left's not too much of a problem, but Andrew Medicki, some clear air out in front, 1 lap down, 6/10 is the margin back to John Bowe.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like that was quite a hard hit into turn 1. You can get away with a little bit of rubbing there, but it was, you could see the attitude on their cars and the massive dent. And these cars, you know, they're still a steel body. They're still very, very tough indeed, and to get some sort of damage like that, it must have been a decent hit.
Fight here. Les Wormsley in that blue HQ trying to get down the inside in Tony Karamfilovsky. Now, yesterday's race, he did something I've never heard of. In all of my years of covering motor racing, he dislocated a finger during the race and mid-race put it back in. That's a new one for my file.
That's absolutely a new one for me too. That's pretty handy actually.
That's tough.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, nice. Let's have a look at the replay here. Watch in the background for the red Mustang.
Oh, they've had a hit.
A little bit of a tap with Andrew Fisher making his debut from V8 Ute Racing. This is what it looked like on board. This will be better.
You watch this wheel work here. There'll be plenty of opposite lock.
It's already started.
Oh, And to give you some comparison, V8 supercars have only got 3/4 of a turn of lock from straight. So he's probably about 2 turns there each way.
Very
Karamfilovsky just sideways coming out.
Still sideways.
The hairpin.
These things have got some serious horsepower, and they're trying to put it to the ground with the Control Hoosier tyre that this category runs on. It's pretty durable rubber, actually, but these things are pumping out more power than these comparative cars did.
Tilly up the inside.
Back in the day, this is the 6-cylinder Pacer with Cam Tilley going up against the big V8s. This is a giant killing car.
Yeah, and I think it's a brand new car, or very, very new. They've freshened it up. It's, you know, had a lot of work. It has been around for a while, but they've given it a birthday and going sensational.
New lap record to John Bowe, 141.27. Oh, look at Fisher, sideways and wide through turn 1. Safety car is coming out. There are the boards and flags to the left of Cam Mason. We're on board with him down at turn 2. We'll pick up what is going on and why we are under safety car. So the the leading traffic queue has slowed. Oh, hang on. Now, this isn't the reason, because that's just happened in the background. Wayne Mercer in the Big Falcons ended up off the road. He's back on it now and rejoins at the tail. Kerry McMahon in the SLR 5000 Tirana. He was actually in an incident with Cam Mason earlier on in the day. They've repainted this car to green. Some say that green is not a good luck for a race car, but it hasn't been today. He's out of the race. Safety car is on the road. Andrew Mediki leads the way. Come back soon. More Touring Car Masters from Sydney in just a sec. Having a pause to take a breath in Touring Car Masters. The safety car is out on the track at the moment. Andrew Mediki is the race leader on lap 4 of 10 in the final race of the weekend for the old school category of Australian motor racing, and it's full of legends. John Bowe sits in position 2, Keith Kasuki third from 7-time Bathurst winner Jimmy Richards. There's Andrew Fisher making his debut this weekend in the Jesus Falcon. We're used to seeing Andrew in the V8 Utes. Now, there's a race earlier this morning. We have to show you this. Kerry McMahon trying to get a move on Cam Mason. And that's not how you make it around turn 1.
And that's at around 220 kilometres an hour. That's a big spin. These two guys are so lucky that they didn't end up in the fence and into each other, as you can see how close it was there.
Invoice for groundskeeping duties required as well.
Yeah, unfortunately Mason had a problem after that and couldn't continue, so.
He's continuing though in this race. He did have a tap earlier on. He's in the red number 3 66 Mustang Fastback. Of course, this category is all about old school cars, but don't be fooled, there are plenty of go fast bits in them these days. They are making some serious power and some serious speed. In fact, the lap record has been broken already in this race. We're getting set for a restart pretty soon. Andrew Mediki will be in control, and between he and Bowe, it's winner take all. They've come into this race tied on points for the weekend, so whoever wins this one gets the big trophy for the weekend.
Yeah, it's basically a one-off race for the outright this weekend.
Safety car in, restart this time by Jim Richards, has leapt through on Keith Kasuki. There was a bit of a gap there. John Bowe left a margin to Andrew Mediki. Surprised by that. Back up to race pace, and it's Mediki who leads the way. Former open wheel and touring car star Brett Yould. And how is the Monaro on the brakes? Down the outside.
Oh, there's a touch.
Oh, Jason Gomersall, the two Holdens have got together. Oh, good avoiding action from Chris Stillwell. Will Vining makes it through. Rusty French makes it through. They all missed the green Monaro. That's why you have a lurid green car. They can spot you a mile away when that stuff happens.
Absolutely. That's a classic example of the guys behind really looking forward, because in that situation, it's not hard when you're close to someone to T-bone someone sitting right in the middle of the track there in the middle of the corner.
Back on board with Cam Mason. Look at Karen Frolofsky up in front. That mustard Mustang was at probably about 55 degrees sliding on the exit of that corner. These things are making serious power, and there is Cam Tilley in the blue 6-cylinder Pacer. He's mixing it with the V8, so through the tight and twisty stuff, he's in his element. Have a look at the door of Andrew Fisher's Falcon. It's been hit from earlier on with the car that's sitting just in behind him. So don't ever think that this is an exhibition category where some legend drivers go. It's damn serious out there. These guys do get stuck into it.
They do, and they're not backward in coming forward for rubbing panels, getting a bit of paint on the opposition's car. And it shows that, as I said earlier, these cars are the standard panels. They are tough, and you try to kick an X-wide door skin in without getting your head beaten in, and you'll know how tough that is, and that's a decent hit. So
Mediki controlling the margin, half a second at the line. Great shot through turn 1. It's all V8s up the front, but it's a mixture of Aussie and American muscle. A couple of years ago, they extended the eligibility era of cars, so the likes of the XB GT Falcon, the SLR 5000 Tirana, on board with Greg Crick. I saw him earlier in the day, and I was going to talk to him about him returning to the championship and how's the Charger going. He thought I was coming to gloat about the Hawks getting back over the Cats last night. I don't know too many Tasmanians that barrack for Geelong, but he's one of them.
He's one of them. It's Richo just a little bit wide there coming out.
He's under massive pressure here.
He is.
Look at them all lining up. Mark King's the one in the red Camaro that used that extra bit of road.
so good to see Quickie back too. You know, he really was emotional after yesterday's race. You know, he was told by the doctors after getting carbon monoxide poisoning from the 12-hour that he'd never race again. He got violently ill, and you know, really a lot of people don't realise how bad you can be after that sort of. I guess you can call it an injury, but to have him back is just sensational. He's such a great bloke. Have
a look at this replay. Brett Youlden went in really deep to race Jason Gomersall, but he came across. And I think now actually the driving standards observer for TCM this weekend is Paul Morris, the dude who has been down in the paddock all weekend chatting to these guys. And I reckon he might rule there that Youlden was the one who caused that because he came across.
100%. You know, Youlden was the one making the pass, went to the outside.
Here's the power of Keith Kassilke. That's a 351 cubic inch Falcon versus Jimmy Richards' Falcon Sprint. It's only 289. It's not as big an engine, but it's a lighter car.
Wide.
He's struggling. He's really got a drama there. They're all firing on through. What's going on with that Falcon Sprint? It's okay under the brakes still.
It is good under the brakes. Hopefully he hasn't got the same issue as he had in race 1.
Yeah, he had a weird issue yesterday. We saw that he ran in the top 3 or 4, but he dropped right back at the end. He had a broken throttle cable, so he left it in 3rd gear and ran it off the ignition just to get it to the finish. So I hope that a similar drama hasn't unfolded because he's still got 4 laps to make it around.
He has got some issue there. The thing's all over the place. Twitching around, it's snapping sideways on him in the rear, so surprised if he's got something amiss, maybe a tyre deflating slowly. But John Bauer's got them all lined up behind him now. Kassilke's ready to pounce. Kassilke's car, as you just saw, is fast down the straight. John Bauer's car's fast, but wait till this thing gets down the chute.
It's an impressive piece of kit that Dick Savvy and his team look after. They look after a range of TCM cars. Back on board. If you're a Mopar man or a Charger fan, this is the car you need to be on. Greg Crick blowing a little bit of smoke, but not affecting the pace of that car. They've been developing this car. They've called it Elvin, which is Elvin Purple. Drove a Charger back in the day.
And there's Gomersall having a go. Now that thing there, that was a new car or a new reshell car in Darwin. They took some 200 kilos out of the car, so that's just a phenomenal effort. And it's very fast, as you can see, behind these cars with more cubic inch than they've got.
And the guys at Matt Stone Racing in Queensland who run Ash Walsh, who's fighting for the Dunlop Series. They run this car, they look after it. Jim Stone's heavily involved with it. So for so many years we know Stone Brothers from running Fords, but now involved with an older Holden. And this is Tony Karafilovsky rounding up Jim Richards at 7th spot. So this is a drama for
Look at him, he's the champ. Really, there is definitely something wrong with Jimmy. It's sort of hard to spot. Some sort of a handling irregularity with that car. You can just see it twitching around everywhere. So let's just hope Jimmy can nurse it back, get some points for the rest of the round, and move on to Sandown.
Here's Tony Karafilovsky, had a win this year in the opening race of the championship in Adelaide, backed it up with another one at Winton. Once upon a time, he drove a little Alpha, then he stepped it up to a Falcon. Now he's ended up in this big Mustang, which is just a seriously beautiful car.
I love watching Tony drive, you know, like he's sideways, and out of the car, he's such a lively, funny, happy bloke, you know, so it's such a good environment to be around in this Touring Car Masters category out underneath the camp there, you know, like there's not too many secrets that aren't, I guess, hidden, like the V8 supercars. Everyone's got their bonnets up and doors open, and it's just fantastic.
Well, the thing is, too, everyone's pretty much driving a different type of car. Mustang, Falcon, Camaro, Charger, Tirana. If there's another Mustang, it's a different year model, or it's got a different setup, it's got a different configuration.
Pacer.
Yeah, Pacer as well. There's a Porsche in there with Rusty French at the helm. This is back on board with Cam Mason. He's taken over this car from his dad, Steve. And when we first saw Cam turn up, he was driving a Datsun 1600. This is a little step up.
It is a little step up, especially in horsepower as well. He would feel the weight, the extra weight in this car. Obviously, it's going to, it's got a little bit of understeer there as well. But you just see they've got to feather the throttle gently coming out of the corners. These Hoosiers now, this is their 3rd race on one set of tyres. That's all they're allowed. It's 4 tyres for the weekend. They get to qualify on those tyres, and then they get to do 3 races on them. So, as you can see, the last race of the weekend, they're not holding back on keeping the tyres good for the next one. They don't need to.
No, Andrew Radicki's pulled away as well. He's got a margin 4.8 seconds back to John Bauer. So a race at a round win is looking good for Andrew Radicki. He hasn't had a win since the opening round at Adelaide earlier on in the year in the Camaro that he drives for Bob Middleton's team. Here's Greg Crick in the Charger with Jason Gomersall. Of course, when you think Charger, you think back to the days at Bathurst, the early 70s, and Leo Gagan and Doug Shivers, and it often gets overlooked in muscle car history. We all are about Holdens and Fords and Toranas and Monaros and Falcons and Mustangs, but when it came to Jason Gomersall unloads himself.
I think there was a bit of oil on the track there. You saw Cricky have a little bit of a moment to it to get out of the throttle. And I think that's where Gomersall's just hit that same spot that Jimmy got.
Now, is he bogged? Because Scott Pye, remember, ended up here yesterday in...
he's done. Bogged now.
He's going nowhere.
There's only 2 laps to go.
Chris Stillwell is out of his Mustang. That's actually the car that leads the Pro Sports class. There's 3 title fights within the fight in TCM, so that's a real shame for him.
Yeah, now even though Gomersall's stuck in the sand trap there, I don't think they're going to have a local yellow in that area. I don't think they're going to bring a safety car
in fact,
out.
No, they're going to finish it this time by Steve. So Andrew Medicki will win the final race and he'll win the round as well. Great job. His first round win of the season. He won at Sandown last year. That's the last time we saw a win for him, and that's, of course, where TCM will be heading. Of course, we'll see them at the Mountain. Great to see. Jimmy Richards made it home there, but that was not a standard JR race. He finished in position 8, so it's Medicki who picks it up. Great to see TCM at Sydney Motorsport Park. Nice job from Keith Kasuki. Mark King next in 4th. Welcome back, Greg Crick. It's been great to have him back with us. P5 from Tony Karanfilovsky, then Warbsley.